All right, we keep going, although I'm so tired and I actually just want to go and sleep all day. But yeah, that can't be the answer, can it? Well, because at some point you have slept so much your mind's just spinning. End it, right? End it. No, that's also not the right thought. Well, in it. Yeah, exactly. We are in it. We are just entirely fucking in it. And there's no back, cause yeah, I've bird the boats. Man, I would love to just. Alright, this is live. I am not. Okay, here we go. Further forward. Tactics, self. Alright. Okay, here we go. All right, understanding your emotions as a leader. So why do we want to understand emotions? Because it is ROI positive. Overall, you will make more money. It increases your happiness and so your capacity to make more money. ROI positive. When you are wise about your emotions, you embody a quality that a lot of your employees wish they had, so they look up to you, which leads to less power struggles and better leadership skills. Emotional control is an important outcome. Why do you want to understand your emotions? Am I right? You will be better able to anticipate emotional charges, which leads to emotional outbursts. In business, to have a long term focus, it is better to prevent big fights that are your fault, which take a lot of energy to repair and make up for. The time and mental energy to review the incident that you could have used to work. The time and mental energy you spend in beating yourself up about the incident. The time and mental energy you think about how to make amends and repair, which you could have used to work. The time and mental energy to actually make amends and repair. Friction time to switch between the adrenaline-laden and fearful state or of conflict and concentration on what you need to work on to grow the business. Repressing the immune system, potentially leading to days of sickness and lost productivity. The time it takes to rebuild the relationship to where it was before the incident, lost productivity of that partner or employee. Employee energy expenditure to spend mental energy reviewing the incident, thinking about why that happened, resenting you, which will manifest on how the employee talks about you to others. As you see, there are many downsides to erupting and losing emotional control. This is why it is important to prevent emotional outbursts, and the first step to doing that is understanding your emotions. Personal development for entrepreneurs. What is personal development? What is being developed and how is this personal effort making you more money? Well, personal development for entrepreneurs. How is this making you money? What are we developing? The personality that we are developing is who you present yourself as to the world. Overcoming this personality is called awakening. The character still remains, yet the personality vanishes. Self-help advice for business owners. As a business owner, you are likely to seek out self-help advice. But what is the self that we are helping? But how is the self-help helping you? We need to define the outcome of self-help. Self-help means being empowered, meaning you have the power to change your own life circumstances. Self-improvement tip for leaders. A leader becomes a better leader when he is not being placed into the position of leadership, but when people choose him. And when they continuously affirm to him his leadership capacities. So what should you improve as a leader to make more money? Being aware of your own thoughts. When you are aware of your own thoughts, you learn to also be aware of the thoughts of others. You start to develop the capacity to read people's thoughts by their actions, voice inflection, and facial expressions, which is a valuable skill for every leader, because with this you will be able to notice when unproductive thoughts are being thought by your employees. As a leader, you want to maximize the quality and quantity of thoughts that any given employee puts towards the outcome that they are trying to achieve. Unless you are aware of your own thoughts, you start to become aware of the thoughts of others too. Unless you are aware of your own thoughts, you will not be able to be aware of other people's thoughts. Becoming a better leader through self-work. What does it mean to lead? It means to effortlessly direct the thoughts, feelings, and actions of your followers towards a common goal. It means to be the person that people naturally follow because they sense that he is where they want to be. That can be internal or external. Leadership qualities increased through inner work. That means bringing your darkness to the light, making peace inside with yourself, your past actions or inactions, your failures, your desires, your body, your thoughts, and your emotions. Inner work means looking within to distinguish what is you and what is them that you see in other people. Inner work means getting to love all parts of yourself. Inner work means aligning all your thoughts, energies, emotions, and actions towards your one life goal. Inner work means distilling all your streams of desires into one powerful life goal. Inner work means shifting negativity towards positivity, shifting negative evaluations out for positive ones so that we evaluate what we perceive positively and so create a positive life. First, through our will, then effortlessly through manifestation. Inner work means clearing out entanglements with relatives and past loved ones. Inner work means getting clear about what you want and why. Inner work means healing wounds. How to be a mindful leader. What does it mean to be mindful? Certainly not full of mind. Mindful is being achieved. Mindful is being achieved when you have less mind, less thought within you. Why would you want to be a mindful leader? Mindfulness helps you with emotional regulation. Mindfulness helps you with emotional control. Mindfulness helps you with motivating employees by being mindful of their own specialities. Mindfulness helps you as a leader to pick up on nuances and to read other people. This is an effect of increasing your mindfulness. Leadership through self-awareness. As a leader, when you are not self-aware, other people become aware of your lack of self-awareness. As people generally rise in consciousness, in order to remain a leader, you need to be better than them for them to be respecting you. Fortunately, it is easier than ever to be self-aware. It means that you are aware of who you are, which means as a prerequisite to that, you have to know who you are. You can't be aware of something that you are not conscious of. So become conscious of your own patterns, your behavior patterns, your motivations, your trigger points become more and more important in the future. As time and the development of AI progresses, the weak ones will be replaced. Only strong leaders remain. Only strong employees remain, which have adapted to AI. This will give you certainty among this development so that you can always count on yourself to know what to do next. Self-awareness can be practiced in many ways. Want to know what they are? First, let's talk about what we're actually becoming aware of. Self-awareness means understanding yourself deeply inside of you. Self-awareness means that you know what inside of you are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. When you understand this in the right way, people will naturally gravitate towards following you as their leader. Not just as one leader, but as their leader. From the beginning of time, leaders have been the most self-aware people of the pack. They have also been the strongest. So if you are not self-aware or strong, you will be replaced in your role as a leader by somebody who is. Having spent years of learning inside knowledge will not be enough anymore to compete. You have to be self-aware. You have to be self-conscious. You have to be conscious of yourself, that egoic entity, and that identity with and move past it, or rather let it die. Dive deep below the waters of emotion and face the fear of suffocation under the water in order to be free. Order of freedom, in order to be free. What order does the mind have, or does your mind have any order at all? In becoming self-aware, there are certain paths. You can become self-aware by understanding your own patterns. What makes you happy, proud, friendly, harsh, or criticizing? Generally speaking, what you tend to criticize in others is what you judge in yourself. This is self-work. What you like in others are the quality that you have disidentified with. What you dislike in others are the qualities that you have disowned, pretending that they are not there. Personal growth for entrepreneurs. As an entrepreneur, you want to be constantly growing because the business growth is capped by the limit of your capabilities as a leader. That means unless you grow as a leader, your business can't grow either. You need to grow in your belief of how much money you can make, how easy it is to make that amount of money, your beliefs about how much money you deserve as a leader, and your beliefs of how good a leader you really are. Growth means growing stress tolerance. Growth means growing in personal belief and capability. Growth means growing in speed of thought. Growth means growing the ratio between productive and unproductive thought, meaning how much time do you spend verbalizing things in your mind that don't matter for your ultimate goal, and how many thoughts over how much time are you verbalizing about your ultimate objective in life. Growth means to grow your capacity to affect people with your words. Growth means growing your capacity to influence yourself. Growth means getting more done in the same time or getting more done in less time. Growth means optimizing your thoughts, your physiology, your habits for less energy expenditure so that you get more outcomes easier with the same energy that it took you before to move big obstacles. Personal growth explained. What is personal growth? Growing in the capacity to tolerate stress. Growing in skill level. Personal development strategies for business owners. What tactic and what is strategy? What is tactic and what is strategy? Tactics are the same actions of the directions that is the strategy. The same tactics can apply in different directions. A strategy is the direction of where you want to take things. Tactics are the actions that you take, and it matters with what intention and how intensely you are taking these actions. Strategies, in turn, is where you want to take your personal development towards. What do you want to develop and why? Self-mastery for entrepreneurs. What does it mean to master the self? First of all, mastering the self means mastering your urges, mastering your desires, and mastering your thoughts and emotions. For self-mastery, what matters is the balance between control and setting up an environment in which control is possible. Let me explain. Controlling your thoughts means first that you are aware of your thoughts, which is the first step of control. You cannot control anything that you are unaware of. Being able to control your thoughts means that you do what you want them to do. They shut up when you want them to. For that, it is necessary to understand the dynamic that thoughts are pointers. They call awareness to your conscious mind to resolve things, address things, or resolve unresolved issues. Controlling your mind means that you can replace negative and limiting thoughts with freeing positive thoughts, and that your thoughts obey you. For that to successfully occur, we need to understand why we think negative thoughts. Here is an array of options of why that happens. Negative thoughts can occur as a relief or release pattern. That means that you let go of repressed energy, stress, or physical tension through indulging in negativity. It is like crying or sex. You release tension and emotional load, and afterwards you feel relieved. Overcoming self-doubt as an entrepreneur. Self-doubt can come from various psychological sources. It can come from not being as good as you say you are, and then you need to check in with reality. Do you need to push and build belief, or do you really need to get more results? Self-doubt can also be a manifestation of a deeper psychological pattern. When some thoughts were made in childhood and we can't trust ourselves, or that there's something wrong with us, then self-doubt can be a manifestation of that. It is important to be able to clearly distinguish between these two types of self-doubt. Self-doubt can come from building trust as a leader. The question is whom you want to build trust with. In order to build trust, you need to be able to trust yourself and have confidence in yourself. When you are unsure of an endeavor, or even worse, of yourself as a person and your capabilities as a leader, then the other people will doubt. Unless you believe, other people won't believe it either, and then it won't become real. And then there is the question, what do you want to build the trust for? Trust requires faith. To be trusted, you need to be trusting. The faith that is required to trust employees is a reflection of the trust that you have for yourself. How to enhance decision-making skills. As a leader, the better decisions you make, the more money you make. And the better decisions mean more good decisions faster and less bad decisions. What is a good decision? A good decision means that you are getting the outcome you wanted. And a good decision means aligning the resources required with the outcome that you want. A bad decision is getting you further from the outcome. Decision-making skills are impacted by inner work. For that reason, inner work makes you more money because it improves your decision-making skills. In learning emotional control, you make decisions rationally, with emotion and intuition as secondary factors, but not as the dominant ones. In facing your fears inside, of your darkness, the dark abyss, the silence, of letting thoughts disappear, of sinking into the unknown, you have less fear overall, and then fear won't stop you from making the decisions or following through on it. Decision-making abilities are increased. Resolving inner conflicts for business owners. Resolving inner conflicts is making you more money. Living in conflict is costing you potential earnings and make you lose money. Let me explain. Inner conflicts are the experience of being torn into two different directions, something that you want and something that you don't want. When there's something that you want and something that you don't want, you experience an inner conflict. Inner conflicts can come from being pulled into one direction because you need an energetic release. But there's something else that you need to do. You want to work, but you cannot focus. You need to work, but you don't want to, and you feel like you need to rest. Self-healing for business owners. What does healing mean, and how does it make you money? Healing means becoming whole, meaning that there's no schism in your psyche. All energies, desires, and past memories are successfully integrated. When you are whole, you have a higher attraction as a leader. The integration is shown and can be witnessed in your energetic radiance, drawing followers to you. And the people that have been assigned to follow you do so on their own accord because they energetically sense that you have something that they don't, which is integration and healing. A lot of people, most people, carry their wounds into their adult lives. And this is why they remain dependent, emotionally, financially, or even physically, in the form of an unhealthy habit that meets emotional needs in an unhealthy way, or even an addiction. When you heal yourself, it means that you close the gaps within your psyche. Effective leadership through self-healing. In order to lead, you need to be the leader, where the follower senses that in following you and taking instructions from you, it will benefit them. So in order to lead effectively, you need to be respected. How does self-healing make you money? When you are a better leader, your business runs more efficiently. You set an example and raise the standard for the whole team. You set a higher standard for your direct reports to aspire up to, and they in turn set the standard for the employees working below them. Through healing yourself, you are able to set an example of what an integrated leader looks like, behaves like, sounds like, and feels like, in the sense of how they feel emotionally when they are around you. In order to heal, you need to understand what it is exactly that you are healing inside of you. What are the psychological phenomena that you need to address in order to be a better leader? There are different kinds of wounds that we need to heal. Healing always happens as a result of inputs of work. It is not an outcome that can be forced. But when you take good actions and aid the healing, healing is likely to occur. In the same way as a cut heals, it is the reconnection of two parts that belong together, and the split that has been caused through an occurrence heals. In that way, healing is a natural process and it goes without your doing. All you need to do is to identify the healing processes that are already happening and stop interfering with them. In the same way as the cut heals by itself, the emotional wound that need healing are also healing by themselves. All we need to do is to allow the healing to happen. When you believe scab was some kind of malicious fungus growing on your wound, you would be very distraught and try to peel it off, making the healing process never complete. Yes, I am combining the free school community posts from Incantation Nation with the posts that I have already written and repurposed them to post them into the community that I am a part of. Positivity is alright positive. It helps you make more money. It helps you spend less time on things that you don't enjoy. It helps you spend less money on the things that you don't enjoy. How to stop self-sabotage. Self-sabotage happens when there are two conflicting motivations inside of a person at the same time. One motivation is to protect, another one is to expand. One is to be safe, the other one is to be loved. One is to be special, the other one is to feel connected. Self-sabotage happens when we unconsciously pull back whenever we are in the pursuit of a goal. Positivity is RI positive. What contributes to a lack of positivity? Physical distress, eating and sleeping habits, fixing the inner phenomena that makes you eat and sleep in this way that bring you out of balance. You make better decisions, you make faster decisions, you act more on the decisions that you made. You feel you deserve more. It is unlikely that a negative state is being triggered that will energetically sabotage your success. When negativity comes your way, the stronger the positivity habit is and the stronger and longer your streak is, the more resistant are you to negativity from the outside that comes your way by other people. Belief is alright positive. When you believe, you speak with conviction. You can pump yourself up and transfer that belief, the belief to yourself, because you have a reference experience of what believing on yourself really feels like. Belief lets you transfer this conviction to your employees so that you have less fights. Friends, including the spouse. Isolation is a depressant. It invariably will lower your mood. As an introvert, you may enjoy solitude, but isolation means you want to contact but you don't have any. Friends help you hold yourself to a standard. Friends are a sounding board for your ideas. Friends help you stay on course of action with your values. Friends help you. Action, the most important piece. It is in the action that life changes. Even without positivity, belief, and friends, you can change your life. But the hazard is that you will unconsciously take the wrong actions or actions that are related to coping whenever you're not positive and convicted. Convinced. Convicted. Convinced. We want to take the right actions in the right way at the right time. These four are the fundamentals of personal development. If you feel inclined to the direction of the law of attraction, positivity and belief will raise your vibration and enable you to receive ideas, insights, and help that are resonant with the energy that you hold. You will unconsciously reject higher vibe opportunities, and the mind will find a way to justify it if you are not in a high vibe state. That's why positivity is crucially important. If you feel inclined to the direction of no excuses, work hard, get strong, and achieve through breaking through your fear, then you will find that the people you surround yourself with are the key factor in being as strong as you can be, because you yourself can only be your strongest when you are fighting as a team. Positivity and self-belief will not only help you to work your hardest, but also spend less time in low energy states when excuses need to be battled. So you don't need to spend your energy fighting your excuses, fight to progress instead. When you truly embody positivity and belief, you will get access to people you wouldn't normally have access to because they respect you for it. Being negative and selfish is easy. Being positive and believing in oneself so much so that it shows is difficult because it doesn't come naturally. It needs to be trained, and that is what people respect you for. If you feel inclined to the direction of healing work to improve your life, by working on being more positive and believing, you are less likely to enter into negative states and could reinvigorate a trauma response. Now, the trauma reinvigorates the states, but it does go both ways. When you are more positive and believing, you handle your daily tasks easier, which leaves you less exhausted at the end of the day. Positivity. Positivity is one metric that we measure throughout the day. Why do we focus on positivity? Positivity is our I positive. Positivity will help you make your life better. Positivity is worth it because you make decisions faster. Negativity makes you take more egoistic motivations and worries into account. It takes you longer to think through decisions and gather the data to make the decision. Positivity saves time on each decision made from this state. You make the same decisions in the same time, and you can make more decisions and get more done. You make better decisions. You're more likely to act upon the decisions that you made. You can see things from a larger perspective, helping you to come up with more creative solutions to the complex problems. In negativity, you are inside yourself. In positivity, you are more likely to take employees and customers into account. Others are more likely to say yes to what you ask. You feel more deserving because you feel the way you know you want to feel. You feel more deserving to make an ask and accept because you feel good about yourself. You have more energy because negativity uses up a lot of energy, whereas positivity generates energy from within. It is easier to convey ideas. You come up with creative ways to convince somebody and say the right things in the right moment. Your voice inflection, facial expressions, body language, words, clothing, pauses, etc. all match to convey the message, whereas in negativity, since the energy supply is used up for rumination instead, you don't have the energy to place the energy towards positivity. Benefits of positivity. Your entire life integrates. You are in a better mood. Your vibration raises. You attract better people because you have a quality that people want for themselves. You have higher quality solutions because you don't drop into negativity that easily. Negativity is also a state associated with powerlessness, with excuses, and with blame. Feeding into this state until it has fully taken over the entire energy will make it more likely that you don't come up with creative solutions and much rather come up with statements and perspectives of powerlessness and lack of resources. Especially in these times when software solutions are abundant and there is a way to solve every existing problem in your life and your business, positivity is key. Positivity is king. When you are positive, you come up with more creative solutions to the problem in your life. You are more likely to act upon these solutions. Overcoming the friction of inaction is easier when you are positive and in a high vibrational state. Have you ever been in a really deep negative state and as somebody tried to make you laugh or cheer you up? It probably took a while for you to let go of the resistance to this state. This is because we tend to do only actions that are consistent with the way that we feel. It is a practice to get over yourself and get out of these negative states quickly and into action-taking mode. When you are positive, you tend to not only find better solutions, but you are also open yourself up to high vibrational solutions and ideas. Think about that. In a low vibrational state, only low vibrational ideas resonate. When you are in a low energy state of worthlessness, talking to people, asking for help, abstracting from the problem and seeing it the bigger picture, as well as empathy and seeing things from somebody else's point of view is not easy, because these actions and mental states are not consistent with a low vibrational state. So you will receive better ideas in this state. You will be more likely to act on these ideas because there is less friction and changing from rumination into taking action. The actions that you take will be less about you and more about other people, which is the key in order to make your situation change and have the change last. So you're able to take on a different level. Have we actually posted here on both accounts? This is one, and this is two. Amazing. This is incredible. Great. Tremendous. Alright, so you are able to take on a different perspective when you are positive. You can see the situation in the perspective of the whole. You have a more integrated understanding of the workings of life. You are more likely to cheer other people on and want them to feel good also, whereas when you are in a negative state, you don't want to face the fact that you are not feeling as good as other people, and are also likely to avoid others, and you are less likely to share positivity because you have none of it inside of you. You are going to be more respected when you are positive. People want to feel like you and, to an extent, be like you. This helps in leadership, persuasion, and sales, and many other areas. You are more likely to attract high-quality people as friends who are also positive and who are lifting you up, creating a flywheel spiral that reinforces itself, because positivity generates energy. More energy shows up when you are positive. When we are positive, we have better communications because we are more likely to see things from somebody else's point of view. When we are negative in turn, we have lower energy altogether. Think of it as a reservoir that is not as full as it could be. When we are negative, we tend to push away the things that we really want in our lives because we feel that we don't deserve them. When we are negative, we do actions that are not consistent with a high vibrational positive state that made outcomes occur in the past and that have gotten us to where we are, which means that oftentimes the negative states make us prone to taking action that are pushing all that we have built out of our lives. Friends, it is important to set ourselves up with a social system so that we can focus on work instead of being distracted by trying to meet our social needs on the needs for love and connection. Oftentimes, even walks in nature, leisure activities, etc. are for many people a substitute for real connection. So they spend many hours in these leisure activities. You can think of it as a different phone charging cable, one of those low quality ones that doesn't charge the phone quite as fast. Those low quality ways of getting connection oftentimes feel empty because we are trying to fill our needs in a way that doesn't actually fill them, but just approximates the feeling of having the needs met. When we find ways to meet our needs for connection and love through true friends among our spouse, the following benefits occur. Your friends tend to hold you to a higher standard. Your friends will call you on confusions, excuses. Your friends, when they are quality ones, benefits of energetic realignment. Coping behaviors that you take involuntarily are falling away. You're going to not waste the time and energy on this activity. You're also going to lose out on the energy that you could have placed into skills or relationships that could have grown but didn't. And since growth compounds, you will lose out on the future growth, and this loss can be massive. How many times have you lost out on opportunities and lost out on a lot of money because of this? When opportunity meets preparation, riches accumulate over time. But when preparation is missing, the opportunity is being passed up and cannot fully be leveraged. You're missing out on the compound growth that you could have had. And the negative behavior is suppressing your energy. So you're losing energy now, and you are losing energy potential that you could have had in the future. It lowers your vibration, budges your positivity. All of these incremental improvements make a massive difference over the course of a lifetime into the future. It lowers your belief and it affects your relationships. Energetic imbalances are being discovered. Energetic sounds so elusive, but we all have different energies running through us. There is, for example, emotional energy. You know it when you're emotionally charged or when you're emotionally empty. You know probably what the energy of sadness, defeat, or regret feels like, or what anxiety feels like. These are emotional energies. Then there's mental energy. You probably know from a time in your life when you studied for an exam what it feels like to be mentally fatigued at the end of the day. You may be physically tired also, but it can also be that your mental energy is depleted, but your body wants to move. Have you had a situation like that in the past? You know what sexual frustration feels like, and sexual exhaustion or satiation when you have had a lot. You know what being physically full of energy feels like as opposed to feeling physically tired. Even if you haven't felt physically full for a long time, you know that it is possible to feel this way because there are people who are full of life and others who are constantly tired. There's also creative energy. When you feel you're not really creating anything in the work you do, people might find a creative outlet elsewhere. That can be fixing a car or cooking or something generally known as creative or art. When I say it like that, it makes sense, right? These energies need to be in movement. They need healthy expression, which can also mean transmutation, meaning doing something else with the energy that is good for you. Chopping wood, exercise, singing, even shouting or cleaning up. The things that annoy you are good expressions of anger. Sexual energy can be transmuted into creativity or exercise, or making an effort to show your love in a non-sexual way. Mental energy can be used to ruminate and beat yourself up or to plan, communicate, read, etc. These energies need to be in balance. When they are not, we either find another outlet for these energies or they become suppressed, and then other kinds of imbalances occur. Resolving the causes for these imbalances is a substantial part of my work. What are these causes? They can be beliefs of what is and isn't appropriate, what expression of energy is or isn't in alignment with who you are, what had been rewarded earlier in life and what hasn't, etc. We also have emotional needs that depend on what had been our filter for love, can connect with these energies. When there are, for example, behaviors that our system has remembered as being effective in restoring an imbalance, we are likely to go back to it. For example, when somebody wants to stop drinking or masturbating or eating donuts, etc. But due to the beliefs, etc., these energies are blocked so that the change rises and rises. Eventually the system will give in the form of loss of willpower. And the behavior will occur again because the system remembered this behavior as a sure way to restore balance. For that reason, oftentimes when we believe we need to overcome a behavior, what is often missing in order to sustain the change in behavior is to understand what it serves, psychologically and energetically, and rearrange the life circumstances so that there is no need for the behavior anymore. Then it still will take a conscious decision, because even if a slight emotion comes up that is linked to the behavior, thoughts will appear that suggest doing the behavior or just one more time, etc. Our mind, when the system is in continuous imbalance and the imbalance is rising because we don't understand yet what is creating it, our mind will find a way to justify what our system really needs. More willpower is not the solution. Using the willpower is necessary, but will only be successful when the behavior is removed as the only way to restore balance, or when the imbalance is resolved. This is what I call energetic realignment. We work in the seminar to realign your energies so that all of your energies flow into the right actions and directions. So this is what I call energetic realignment. We work in the seminar to realign your energies so that all your energies flow into the right actions and directions that serve your ultimate purpose in life. This doesn't mean that all you do is only one-dimensional work. It can also mean spending the fuck, man. Yeah, alright. This is what I call energetic realignment. I hope I didn't fucking smudge my shirt here. The work is what I call energetic realignment. We work in the seminar to realign your energies so that all of your energies flow into the right actions and directions that serve your ultimate purpose in life. That doesn't mean that all you do is only one-dimensional work. It can also be spending these energies in a way that nurtures you and keeps you healthy and in balance. My work is centered around the principle of balance. Balance is not the static state of equilibrium. I understand balance as a pendulum. The lowest point where the pendulum would rest is the point of equilibrium. But in reality, life is movement. So it is a movement in and out of balance towards the two extreme points. When we go too far out of balance, the invisible forces of life will get us back into balance. These energies will not change. They are part of life. They are part of being human. Just like gravity is an invisible force that you just got to learn how to adjust to. I read that fucking Greece, man. What the fuck is happening? These energies will not change. They are part of life. They are part of being human, just like gravity is an invisible force that you just got to learn how to adjust to, or else you're going to get hurt by life. Or else you're going to get hurt by the lack of understanding of how life works. If you haven't built healthy ways to balance these energies, you will invariably be drawn to unhealthy ways if you haven't found a way to let these energies flow into the activities you want to flow and achieve balance. That way they will go elsewhere to be balanced. And so when that is the case, or harshness towards somebody else who suffers from that, is what is helpful, is giving understanding of how these dynamics work and real help in the way that I just explained. Balance. My work is centered around the principle of balance. Balance is not the static state of equilibrium. I understand balance as a pendulum. The lowest point where the pendulum would rest is the point of equilibrium, but in reality life is movement, so it is a movement in and out of balance towards the two extreme points. When we go too far out of balance, the invisible forces of life will pull us back. Why do I procrastinate? Why do I procrastinate? Procrastination comes from fear. We are fearful of what the outcome of the action would mean to us emotionally. Oftentimes these emotions that we're trying to avoid are related to status. How we're being perceived in society. Really? Is that some fucking thing here or what? Can you fucking believe this on the white fucking shirt? You fucking cunt, man. Unfucking believable. It's stupid, man. What the fuck, man? Yeah, alright. So oftentimes these emotions that we're trying to avoid are related to status. How we are perceived in society based on what we do, how we look, and how we act. Procrastination is the result of fear. Fearful action. When we procrastinate, there are different types of procrastinators. But the question is not so much why do we procrastinate, but what do I need to do in order to make it stop? Procrastination comes from fear. It is the fear that of what it would mean to us emotionally, either the action taking in itself or the implications for our status and perception in society and among our friends, or what the outcome would mean to us. How to stop self-sabotage. In order to find out how to stop self-sabotage, we need to find out what self-sabotage actually is and why it happens. Once we understand why it happens, we can properly address it. Positivity. Welcome to Incantation Nation. This is the first section, positivity. So why do we focus on positivity, and why is it important for your life? How will it benefit you, and what will you get out of it when you are positive? Good question. Positivity is outright positive. That means you get more out of what you put in order to be and stay positive. And when we are measuring the positivity that you are feeling with our revolutionary life success app, so that you can easily enter your data and track your progress on your path to being as positive as you can and have fun regardless. Positivity is outright positive. That means that you get out more than you put in. This is good. What you need to do to put in order to be positive. First, we cut out everything that triggers negativity. Then we train our minds and emotions towards positivity. Then we resolve imbalances within ourselves so that we are not drawn into negativity because of secondary gains. Because every behavior sometimes has secondary gains. This is something that we need to understand. The behavior has a primary gain, which is the payoff, and then it has secondary gains that are less obvious, piece of content. But first of all, why are we negative? What does negativity solve? Negativity comes easy. It is easy to look at the negative, especially when we have trained ourselves and learned to look at the negative constantly, because this is likely what our parents or caretakers of the people that we surrounded ourselves with did when we grew up. But negativity can serve much more subtle purposes than just being automatic. Oftentimes we are negative because we surround ourselves with negative people and we do not want to upset them. When we are positive, which is what they also would want to be, we fear that we might offend them and in so doing lose the friendship, which feels scary because it is probably a source of connection for us. We can be negative because negativity helps us release stored emotional charges in our system. When we sit all day or work in a way where we don't express ourselves, emotional charges get piled up. Negativity expressed as anger-released emotions may help us release tension from holding on to an emotion of sadness-related emotion, may help us feel connected to ourselves and soothe ourselves in the process. We can be negative because it is an emotional feedback mechanism of how well our life is working or not. Belief, self-belief is alright positive. That means that you get more out than what you put in to develop and maintain this self-belief. This is an emotional state of certainty that it is worth it to you, you can do it, and you can do it additionally to what you are already doing, and nothing in your life is going to be negatively affected. Self-belief is an emotional state of certainty that we can achieve a certain outcome. Sadly, a lot of people, the vast majority I would say, know this state of being certain about something when they feel competent and know from experience and evidence in the past that they can do that and that they're going to be good at it and can handle whatever challenge is going to arise on the path of taking this action. Self-belief is the state of certainty that says, I can do anything that I set my mind to. When we believe in ourselves, we believe that we can do it and that we're going to be good at it. Beliefs orient ourselves. Think of it like a preconceived notion about what things mean in the world. A belief can be triggered by a sensation. A sensation with evaluation becomes perception. When the sensation is being related to ourselves, then it becomes a perception. Positivity, self-optimization. What does self-optimization mean? When you're optimizing yourself, it means that you take what you have and you make the best of it. In these times where times go fast, we need to be betting on the strength that we already have. I'm a master of utilizing RPM and interventions as the tools that I teach in my free school community, Self-Optimization Nation. This is not for people who say, hurrah, COVID is over. This is for people who have an existing work routine and desire to deepen it. So what we're going to do, RPM, interventions and accountability. This is for people who want to seriously level up in 2025. Self-optimization. What is worth optimizing and what are we optimizing for? Breakthrough series, articles, topics, keywords. Self-awareness for business leaders. As a business leader, self-awareness is key. In order to develop strong self-awareness, it is crucial to understand what you are aware of. There are trigger points because you need to be aware of those in order to discern what triggers you in a conversation and what is the other person. clue. What triggers you that you perceive as an immaturity in another person is you always judge within yourself. It goes both ways. So the first point to be aware of are trigger points. The psychological points inside of you that get stuck when somebody tells you something in a conversation that you don't agree with or that you're not happy with. The question is, do you not agree with what the other person says because of what he says, or is it because of something that is inside of you? The consequences of that are not only does the agreement not take place, but you're also being triggered, and the opportunity is to unveil and learn something about yourself here. Exactly. Great. Trigger points tell you something about your insecurities, your strength, your disowned parts, your fears, and your desires. When you learn to discern these trigger points, it is important to make yourself aware of those so that you don't fall into the trap of acting out unconsciously. Like a true professional, you're being aware of the trigger points inside of you. Get access to my free app, no login or sign up required. Learn how to decode your own behavior and gain access to the things and insights inside of yourself that previously you would have needed to hire a psychologist and psychotherapy for. Now technology can help you. Self-awareness helps business leaders immediately. Firstly, with self-awareness, you can be aware of what is going on inside of your employees as well as your customers. When you have a clear psychological understanding of who your customer is and what is going on inside of your customer, you can make a strategic decision and delegate them to departments in a different way, as if you didn't have this level of self-awareness. Self-awareness can mean that you are aware of your own motivations. Why do you do what you do? Unless you are aware of these motivations, you won't become aware of your customers' motivations. It works like that. When you are becoming aware of psychological phenomena such as motivations, fears, desires, doubts, open questions, etc., these stop blending in with the usual stream of thought that you would usually experience. So they stand out. And you need this level of awareness in order to distinguish these phenomena in a client or employee. Only when you can discern them from the usual stream of thought and emotion that most people just unconsciously experience, you will be able to point them out in employees or customers as well. This is one practical application of self-awareness. Self-awareness also serves that you are aware of your own trigger points as well as insecurities, fears, desires, wants, and unconscious habits that somebody might use in order to influence you in a negotiation. Self-awareness also serves that you are able to prevent happenings that might affect you negatively. In order to be the leader that you know that you should be, you need to be able to have acute sensitivity to your own energies, so that you can read your energy levels and can prevent mess-ups in this way. Common problems that happen when somebody does not have that self-awareness necessary to spot these energies and energetic movements within oneself are physical breakdowns, such as catching a sickness. It takes self-awareness on how strong your immune system is and how far you've been pushing your nervous system, and it takes acute sensitivity, sensory acuity, in order to know when to stop, take rest so that you don't crash, which costs you not only time in the long run, but it makes you dwell in negative emotions which affect your work performance and your own self-belief long term. You want to be aware of your mental energy expenditure, incorporate ways to rest your mind when your body is active. Team sports or partner sports such as tennis, golf, etc. help engage the body, relieve tension, and let mental energy recuperate because you are not using thinking, strategizing, and planning in these moments. Furthermore, it strengthens important relationships with other people that come in handy for you. Also, you want to be self-aware of your need for connection. Not as a manager who is interacting with people all day, you probably have not felt deprived of social connection for a long time, if ever. But people who do a lot of thinking work and solo work benefit from the self-awareness of how much needs to connection they have. You also want to be aware of your resistance towards irritation. When you feel irritated easily, your work performance drops significantly. You want to be aware of your consistent levels of positivity that you can generate and maintain, because positivities are a positive in so many ways. You want to be able to be aware of your level of belief that you have. Whenever you feel that you don't believe as much in the common cause or in your team or even worse in yourself, then this affects your work performance, and how you show up in the energy that you emit as a leader is crucially important for the team's work performance. Apart from your energies, you want to become aware of your own psychic wounds so that you can discern them when something triggers you, of what of it is yourself and is truly caused by other people. You need to be able to distinguish it if it's a you issue or an employee issue. Piece of content. Psychic wounds can make receiving and asking, delegating, communicating, having hard conversations that might involve reaction harder. It is like you sense an extra weight that you are carrying on top of the energy expenditure that the situation actually requires. Self-awareness as a leader is crucially important. You become aware of your inner world, your emotions, your reactions to situations, and with that you are going to be equipped to respond in a better way the next time the situation comes up. To be aware means to not be in reaction. It means to have the choice how to respond. When you are aware, self-aware, you have the ability to choose between the responses that you are giving to a particular situation. Self-awareness means also to be aware of how other people are perceiving you, how they feel, because you might have an intention of how you want to be perceived and come across, but it is how you really come across that matters. As a leader, you want to find the fine balance between not changing your behavior as much as to please the other person, or not offend her or him, or to adjust your behavior to the person that you are talking to and trying to influence. Because all of your intention matters, but what matters even more is the outcome, the result of your influence attempt. In order to be self-aware, you want to be aware of your inner world. You want to start becoming aware of what triggers you and be able to delineate that from the situation. You might think you are responding to a situation when in reality you are reacting to your past. In order to be self-aware and become increasingly self-aware, because it is a skill that can be trained and you can become better, it means more self-aware over time. Interestingly enough, self-awareness itself is a concept that unless you become aware of it, that means to be able to conceptualize it, delineate it, say what it means, what it is and what it is not, you won't be able to get better at it. You need a mental category in order to relate things to it, and you need a way to measure self-awareness. Awareness means to be able to distinguish or make out something from the stream of perception that you have. When you look out of a car window, you may see lots of trees passing by. But when you are aware of how an oak tree looks like, you can become aware that an estimated half of all trees you saw were oaks. But it requires the concept of oak, the delineation of what it is and what it is not to be in your mind, otherwise it is just a tree. So with this, as a leader, what you do need to become aware of, and how can you do this in only 5 minutes and improve your leadership skills in only 5 minutes? Good question. We want to become aware of our triggers, that which we have an unconscious emotional reaction to, our psychic wounds, that which has caused an emotional reaction to us in the past, and we react to current stimuli in a similar way, our unmet desires, our values, our rules of what it takes to meet these values, etc. Introspection techniques for entrepreneurs. As an entrepreneur, introspection has merit. But what are we trying to find? What is the outcome? Where in your psyche do you look and what for? Introspection serves the following outcome: to uncover that inside of you which can be used to manipulate you. Because psychologically trained negotiators know that psychic wounds, know your psychic wounds and know your psychological weaknesses, they can easily be spotted if somebody is skilled by what you say, how and when you say it, when or when not you're going to on a topic, and when there is some avoidance, voice inflection, change at certain topics that are related to your fears. Psychological fears can be elicited. In order to be a good professional that is strong in negotiation and cannot be taken off course, you need to introspect and find the things inside of you that you are still insecure about. Unresolved childhood patterns and attachments. Once you know these key phenomena within your own psyche, you will develop automatically without practice the ability and habit to pick up those emotional points in the person that you are trying to influence. Without practice. Introspection as an entrepreneur is important. when it is conducive to productivity and getting outcomes. Introspection needs to be delineated from rumination. Introspection is not indulgence for the purpose of self-connect or rest. Of self-connection or rest. Introspection has an outcome, and we are looking inward in order to find the answer and give us information that helps us make better decisions moving forward. There's introspection to find information from within, what the current urgent situation, and there's introspection to find out information generally about yourself and to get to the outcome of having explored all the parts of yourself. You want to introspect in order to get to know all parts of yourself. This is what we do at our leadership retreat when we elicit the necessary information and make it so that you remember it easily, which will help you tremendously in your decision-making work. What to find out? You want to find out what psychic wounds do you have that cause an emotional reaction in you? What are the things that you don't have but want? What are unmet desires that are still open? What are the inner conflicts that cost you energy? And then how can we resolve those so that the energy becomes available to you and can be utilized for maximizing your outcome? In order to emotional intelligence In order to become more emotionally intelligent, we need to first define what general intelligence actually means. Intelligence means the number of distinctions that you have in a given context. It comes from interlegere, which means to understand, to read between the lines. Emotional intelligence therefore means the number of distinctions that you have about human emotions. When you can distinguish not only between anger and sadness, but also between the possible motivations, when the emotion comes from, you are emotionally intelligent. It means that you can read people's emotions and furthermore adequately point towards the root cause of the emotion in yourself and others. The more you can read your own emotions, the more you can read them in others. Unless you can witness and abstract your own emotions, you won't be able to do so within others. If you don't have words or a distinction on something, you cannot spot it. It will just blend in with the rest of the behavior. I hope that goes out. It's fine. So the more emotionally intelligent you are, the more you can spot subtle signs of emotions and thoughts in a real way, learn to read other people's emotions and thoughts so that you can infer from that psychological points that you can use for negotiation and influence. In order to influence somebody, you have to know what already influences him. What influences him are his desires and fears. Everybody has fears. It is just the extent to which they are conscious and how strong they are felt. When one exposes himself to a fear, and fear gets less until it's not noted as a fear anymore, but just as an emotional inconvenience. In order to influence somebody else, knowing his fears is very important, so that you can hint towards those without threatening the other person, or find out what loss the fear pertains to and then display the loss in a certain way that the same fear gets triggered, which leads to a heightened emotional state in the other person that makes them more susceptible to your influence because the conversation is relevant to the other person. Alright, let's stop here for a second.